sometimes she just gets so misled. Please go on. What is botanical toxicity?
The useful extractions from poisonous plants.
The useful extractions from poisonous plants. But Fern, darling, that's not quite what we had discussed. I really think...
Capital! I see my little surprises arrive safe and sound. I knew you'd be thrilled, Lydia. I always say, there's nothing like a carnivorous plant to help a body get into a wiggle.
Thrilled barely conveys my sentiments. But
You do know, don't you, that insects trapped inside a Venus flytrap are dissolved by the plant's enzymes.
Fern, darling, actually, I never give much thought to that
They
nasty...
actually turn to liquid. Now, a Venus flytrap likely considers this a sauce, if you will. It's a murky olive gray with big old chunky flexy insect parts.
She's an absolute goddess.
Did you hear that? I could have sworn it was. Well, that couldn't be.
Fern, darling, you do paint a picture, but I hardly think the tea hour is the time for such a clear visual image.
A murky olive gray sauce with chunky flecks of insect parts.
My, isn't that appetizing? Please go on.
Perhaps if we're lucky, there'll be flies about. You aren't serving beef, are you? That is absolutely fatal to Venus flytraps.
Beef is not on the menu today.
Biscuit, madam.
Biscuit! They're not biscuits. Biscuits are not served at tea. They're scones, for heaven's sake.
Tomato.
It's rather warm in here.
Oh, perhaps you're having a...
I think so.
Well, I'm just saying, lettuce juice has a lot to offer a woman with your condition.
Condition? I have no condition. Who are you?
Why is that man staring at me?
How could I have been such a fool?
Who's running this show?
That would be me. I'm Lydia Lee Sunnybrook. And you are?
Wendy Ray, it's in your beeswax.
Miss Ray. What a pleasure.
I hear there's some kind of tea doodah going on here today.
Doodle? Oh, how charmingly colloquial. Today's event is somewhat larger than a doodah. This is the grand opening of Miss Margaret's Lily Pond. And we've a very special guest speaker, the most reclusive Miss Fern Wells.
Well, that's what I thought. You best find me a seat.
Oh, you'd like to stay then? Are you quite sure? We're such a crush today. Perhaps you would be happier coming back another day. Any day other than today.
You trying to tell me there ain't a seat left in this joint? My Lily wife.
Miss Ray, that is not at all what I meant. I'm sure I can conjure you up a seat. Just a moment. Mabel, as long as you're right here, just perhaps you can make yourself useful and find a chair for the charming Miss Ray.
Why, Lydia, I'd love to, but you're looking a little flushed. Maybe you should take a seat and I can take care of things for you.
That's not necessary. Mabel, please, just find a chair for Miss Ray. See, Miss Ray, problem solved.
That red remains to be seen.
Barnaby, you're supposed to serve the tea, not sit back there and drink it. Lydia, that handsome Willie Hotz, he hasn't left yet, has he?
No, Miss Margaret, he's right over there. And I must say, he is overly enthusiastic in his picture taken today.
That man is the coolest drink of water I've seen in a month of Sundays. We've a new guest.
Oh, Miss Margaret, I would not.
Why, welcome to the lily pond. We're almost a full house today.
Save it. Red over here already tried picking me back. I ain't going nowhere.
Well, I guess she was just dying to stay. I suppose that's quite a compliment. But, you're quite sure it's the lily pond you want. I hear there's a speakeasy down the road. I've never been there, of course. But with the proper escort, I might consider such a thing.
Oops, you wouldn't mind scooching around just a little bit, would you? Here you go, Miss Ray. There you go. This sort of thing always seems to happen when Lydia's in charge. Sometimes I think the poor thing can't even count.
Oh, my. A handbag on the table. It is just lovely. But perhaps you could put that in your lap or under your chair, which is the proper place for such personal accessories. That would be my room. Well, it's 27. May I pour your tea?
When in Rome, hit me.
Hit you? I would never strike a guest. Where's my notebook?
Take your old yakking to another table, Miss Ray. I'll pour my own noodle juice if you don't mind.
Name calling and grabbing. Here for lily pond. Sugar?
Sugar. I am sick and tired of hearing that word sugar. It's always, oh, my sugar used to this, and my sweet patootie used to that. That man, he did burn my bridges. Ladies and gentlemen, I beg you to consider thorns. They're tiny souls, really, lying in wait for unwelcome intruders, ready to dispense punishment at the blink of an eye. Of course, we mustn't confuse thorns with prickles, which we commonly find on the wild and luscious blackberry. And of course, thorns on roses. That same look all on your face, just like the first time I laid eyes on you. Well, you know,
Rika has another topic she would like to share with us. While I'm at a loss as to exactly what it is, I am sure we can rely upon the expertise of Miss Whale. Miss Whale, are you quite certain you would not like to illuminate us, even in some tiny way, upon the rose? No! I see. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present the fascinating Miss Fern Whale.
ladies, hold on to your gardening boots, because what I'm about to tell you may be shocking. And that they're more interested. As a matter of fact, I never let my roses reach full bloom.
But I have seen your bourbon roses. I know they are from the house of Malmaison, that they are plants grafted by the Empress Josephine in the 18th century. Surely you must allow those to bloom.
No, but I am never sloppy in harvesting the unopened petals. I can't afford the waste.
You cut the heads off.
Without a twinge of remorse. Who doesn't know has so much remorse in that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
Yikes!
Odd. That sounded like.
You were saying bloom and waste the petals?
Absolutely. I manufacture a tall rose. That's rose oil, not a big old heap of boring roses. It's a stream of roses for your average tortoise tolerance to understand the passion one can feel for the plant world. As I was saying, nothing, but nothing can compare to the world of it. Therefore, arsenic is not on our A list, no. What I'm speaking of is poisonous plant life, a fascinating topic, a world all its own, really. One that requires finesse and passion. Just think, too little and one becomes only ill, opening wide the door to suspicion. Oh yes, it requires a sensitive mind.
Careful, dear, careful.
Mr. Hart, I hardly think this is the time for picture taking.
Now, here we have our star, Belladonna, commonly known as Bella Nightshade, and believed to be the poison that killed the troops of Marcus Antonius during the Parthian Wars. Every single bit of her is poisonous. Isn't she lovely? I know she looks to be a hardy girl, but a late frost plunges this gem into a hideous lump. I'd suggest a light dress and a leaf mold.
Fern, excuse me, darling. I'm afraid I have terribly misjudged the time. It surely is time for Miss Margaret to serve her savories.
But I do think your guests will want to know about the complete loss of voice accompanying belladonna poisoning, but you know best, my dear. Perhaps later I can elaborate on the lesser angels of death, the romantic lily of the valley, the humble muse Bartley, the gay poinsettia.
Why, yes, I'm sure the lesser angels of death would be staggeringly memorable. Oh, Miss Margaret, thank goodness. Tell us what goodies you have in store.
Already? I was on my way to fill Willie Hart's with high hope. I mean his cup. I wanted to fill it until it runneth over. Between you and I, Lydia, I think our Willie Hart's, I think he likes my teas.
I am begging you, please, tell us what you are serving now.
Of course, dear. It's just that I haven't felt this warm on the inside since, well, I've never really felt this warm on the inside.
I'm rather warm myself.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, you may all rest assured. 75 rules for fruitful living. The pecan chicken salad, you will find it the perfect accompaniment to the high hopes. And Mr. Hatz, I took the liberty of making a special sandwich just for you. It's a heart.
Here you go, Mr. Hyde. Were you able to find the free-range chickens that I called about?
That was you.
I did call. I doubted Lydia understands the importance of natural grazing.
I've called quite a few times. I'm afraid free-range chickens aren't so easily had.
Well, we don't have to worry about being poisoned today, then, do we?
No, we do not. I hardly know a thing about poisons. But, Miss Webb, I would like to say that I am a big fan of yours. I'm an amateur gardener myself. Of the lane forest and the wings. Enjoy your savories, ladies and gentlemen. But save room because we have a special surprise.
Lydia looks a little frazzled today.
It was out of revenge for lost love. Yes, well, perhaps in the beginning my explorations possessed the zeal of the avenger, but ironically, plants once considered sin.
Today?
Well, Mabel, of course.
Not to worry, Lydia. If the food needs a lift, I harvested my special parsley just this morning, and it is all
That's just silly and crispy. A marvelously versatile plant and completely irresistible to the black swallowtail butterfly.
Really? Now there is a topic for us. Not the least bit poisonous. Please, Miss Well, tell us more.
Parsley's indeed a most worthy topic. The ancient Greeks, as you may know, decorated their tombs with parsley wreaths.
Of course they did.
And I'm sure you've heard the phrase, 1 foot in the grave.
More parsley, ma'am. I mean, more tea, madam.
Excuse me, sir. I believe you dropped something here.
Anyway, I knew you'd be here.
You want him back, don't you, Bernie? His dreams. I am so sick of hearing about him. I mean, I don't eat salad. I ain't no rabbit.
well. Maybe Lydia should have fine-tuned her guest list.
On second thought, don't get him back over my dead body. And I know that weasel is here. I can feel it.
Really? The weasel's here? I mean, Bertram, he's here?
My goodness, a poetry reading. What an unexpected treat. And so romantic.
Barnaby, what are you hiding in the pantry?
Miss Margaret, I understand you have a surprise in store for us. Well, I am not certain how many more surprises I can handle today. Please, do tell us what you have in store.
Yes, well, many are tragically unaware. But at a proper royal tea, guests are served a glass of champagne. It is a special treat, and quite in keeping with the opening of the lily pond and the patronage of a woman as esteemed as Lydia Sunbrook.
The patronage of a woman is esteemed as Lydia Sunbrook.
Please, dear, one never interrupts the conversation of others. Now, where was I? The bubbly. We'll be serving the champagne in just a few moments, and of course, Miss Sunnybrook will be offered first class.
Lydia, dear, if we have a few moments, perhaps I could briefly mention Datura.
Is that Angel's trumpet?
An excellent question. Angel trumpet is actually Brugmansia, but in reality, the two are kissing cousins. And they all belong to the Nightshade family. A famous and deadly family. Beautiful, fascinating, lethal. A complete package, really. In the East Indies, Datura was used as a aphrodisiac. Oh! The Chinese once believed having sprinkled Datura would do whenever Buddha preached, but blah, blah, blah. What's interesting is its hallucinogenic qualities.
Fern, darling, I am begging you.
Just a moment, dear. Again, one needs to exercise finesse or you're a goner. Your lungs simply incapable of continuing to work for you. Now, Asian police would commonly stupefy their victims with Datura, but an enema prepared with an infusion of
Fern, darling, your presentation has been simply fabulous. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, can we please give Miss Well a round of applause? We must, thankfully, move on. I know you are aware that it is an honor to be asked by your hostess to pour. And as Miss Margaret is somewhat short-staffed today, I would like to ask one of you to help serve the champagne.
Didn't I tell you she just can't live without me?
Would you be so kind as to help pour? Thank you. If you will just go with Mabel, thank you so much.
Lydia, dear, you haven't seen Bertram here by chance, have you?
The only Bertram I've seen is your plant. The one right there next to you. There he is. A strange man working for Miss Margaret today, though.
Aha! Of course.
Nancy?
Oh, well, look at that. Mr. Heights doesn't seem to have a glass of champagne. Here you go, dear. Just go ahead and have a seat. And it's quite obvious you'd had just a teeny bit too much. So thank you for your efforts, though. Here you go, Mr. Hyde.
Hey, not bad. Better than that noodle juice you tried falling off on us.
Well, Miss Ray, I've been wondering what to do about you. Excuse me. How best to please you? I am delighted that champagne is the perfect answer.
Doesn't that, Bernie, just keep going on and on? It's about to make a woman just lay down and die. Well, I am ready for some dessert. Now, is it coming to us or are we going to it? Oh, this heat is in here. I've been pausing. You're pausing me. Then it was you.
No, Miss Well, I wouldn't dream of poisoning you.
You pausing me.
No.
It was you. It was you, Bernie.
No! I would never! I couldn't! Well, I could. But I wouldn't!
Oh, I can't breathe. I need some water.
Lord, she dropped like a tick off a dead ham.
Some people just cannot take the heat, can they? It is rather sultry in here, don't you think? Ladies and gentlemen, it does not appear as if Miss Ray will be rejoining us today. I must say, this has been quite an afternoon, hasn't it? Well, tell me, what do you think of the champagne? I think it's simply fabulous. Drink up, drink up.
And not only has she been murdered, I believe she's been poisoned by someone in this very room.
Really? Mr. Hines, I am sure you exaggerate. This is most likely a simple case of heat exhaustion. People are not murdered at tea, and especially not when I am the hostess. I'm Lydia Lee Sunnybrook, for heaven's sake.
Well, now, the authorities are going to have to be called, but I think we can shed some light on the situation. Miss Well, where are you going, ma'am? You seem to know an awful lot about poisons, and I'm wondering if you're not our #1 suspect.
All right, I confess. There was no love lost between Wendy Ray and myself. She stole my bottom from me. We were engaged. We were going to marry in the spring. And I was to carry calla lilies. But I refused to give him until we were married what Wendy Ray would give him, and if you must know, I'm glad she's dead. Perhaps now she'll do you better use on her back. Oh! I love butcher dearly, but murder? Oh, I know it looks bad. What with my area of expertise being botanical toxicity and a corpse right outside the door.
That is the height of impropriety. Well, I can't think of anything more appalling than murdering one's guest.
Now, you do have a point there, Miss Margaret. Murder is an appalling crime.
Yes, it
It
is.
doesn't seem as it be quite your cup of tea.
It is not. Is there something else you would want to say to me, Willie Hines?
I was just hoping that
yes.
we could talk
Yes.
with your way to Barnaby.
Oh, it's Barnaby now, is it?
My waiter?
Yes, Miss Margaret. Barnaby?
Yes, Barnaby. That's what you wanted. Yes. Barnaby! Willie Hines has some questions for you. Why are you shaking your head, Barnaby? The polite thing to do is to come out here and answer the questions that Mr. Hines has for you. I mean, after all, a woman has been murdered. Let me right out. I just wanted to say that I feel like we're in such capable hands. This has been a shock for us all, I'm sure, but for me personally, a single woman, all alone, knife after knife. Oh, it is a terrible fun to bear.
That, mister, is what you've been missing.
You're a brave woman, Miss Margaret.
Oh, yes.
Barnaby! I'm afraid I want to ask you all some questions. Now, this was your first day here at the Lily Pond, wasn't it?
Man, Barnaby!
Jeez, Fernie, that hurt. You aren't still mad now, are you, sugar?
Am I still mad? You old fool. Don't you know anything about women?
Oh, I think we both know the answer to that now, don't we, sugar?
Now, Barnaby, sir, you were engaged to Wendy Ray, is that correct?
Yeah, but it wasn't duck soup, I'll tell you that. A meaner woman never walked this earth. Behind the 8 ball, ain't I? Look, I didn't bop her. Although Lord knows I thought about it enough. Not helping my cause any.
Not exactly, sir.
Look, I came here to get my Fernie back. If she'll have me. I didn't kill Wendy Ray. I didn't have to.
I practically live to help Lydia.
Oh, well now, it must be exciting to work for a lovely woman like Lydia Sunnybrook. Well, she always has so many great ideas and knows so many people.
This whole day was my idea. I suggested the rose theme. I suggested Miss Well as speaker. As a matter of fact, Miss Well, you know I am a great fan of yours, and when this is all over, we've got to get back together, okay? But do I ever get the appreciation I deserve? No. It's Lydia this and Lydia that.
Now, Miss Lydia is just pretty as a picture, and no one would ever suspect her of murder. Why, what would you call that color, Miss Lydia? Why don't I just take your picture right now?
I believe it's called sherbet. It is lovely, don't you think?
Oh, on you. Sherbet is especially lovely, ma'am.
All right. I did it. I poisoned the champagne, but it was meant for you, Lydia. I can't stand you. I can't stand all your preening and your fanning. And look what you got me wearing. I'm wearing orange. I hate orange. And sherbet, I hate sherbet. But you know what I really, really hate? I hate red hair.
Miss Mabel, now here I was, just getting ready to take your picture.
Hey, wait just a minute. Just take me a second here. Now, wait a minute. How's that?
I'm out of film.
Yeah, out of film. How can you be out of film?
Don't you worry, Miss Mabel. I know where they have lots of film.
You do?
At the police station.
Really?
Why don't we go down there right now?
Well, let's just go.
And take your picture.
Well, let's go. Which side do you think's my best side? Do you think they'll capture the real me?
Oh, why, yes, ma'am. I think that's what they do best.
Let's go. Let's go. Now, wait, Miss Margaret, now, I'm sure when this is all over that you're going to want to call me for some bookings. You know I make those scones, and they're organic. Oh, yeah.
Oh, please look at me, Fernie. Sugar, can't you see I've come back for you? Say you'll have me. You know you always been my... You were the girl for me. Yes, lettuce.
Cipher! This comes